What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your person, your pop culture guy, and not too much to talk about this week. In fact, there was so little to talk about that we didn't have an episode last week. And so, sorry, but got a few things to talk about, some things I wanted to cover, and then we'll just get out of your hair for the weekend. You can enjoy the weekend. So, without any further ado, let's get into the Nifty Nerd News. All right, guys, welcome back to the Nifty Nerd News portion of the Bry-Fy podcast. Up first, that Kevin Smith over on Instagram. Yes, that Kevin Smith released or shared some news that he's going to be doing a comic with Archie Comics called Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob. And I'm kind of excited for this, man. One, I always enjoyed Kevin Smith as a personality, as a director, and just actor. Like, he to me, he's funny. To me, he feels like an everyman, or like an every my type of man. And so seeing him succeed makes me feel like we're all succeeding in a way. But he's doing a comic with that. I think it's going to be fun. It is touted as being a mature Archie book, of course, with Jay and Silent Bob. Well, more specifically Jay. Yeah, it's going to be really intense, at least language-wise. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, what Archie Comics is going to let Kevin Smith get away with. So I'm kind of interested to see how this is all going to work out. But, what was it when when Archie Comics rebranded Archie, or like rebooted Archie with a new, more modern comic book take? That was the one who did that. Was it? I know Fiona Staples did the artwork on it. Oh my God, I have the comics. Let me go look at the comics. Stand by. Mark Waid. There we go. So yeah, Mark Waid wrote it. Fiona Staples did the artwork on like the first 3 or 5 issues. I can't remember how many it was. Not enough. Of course, Fiona Staples, artist you probably recognize me talk about, famous for Saga, or at least famous for me for Saga. And so when I saw that Mark Waid, who had done like some Superman stuff, I think Daredevil at the time, that I was fond of, and Fiona Staples coming together for a new Archie book, I had to check it out. And I really enjoyed those first couple of issues of the Archie comics. And then it kind of, I don't know, the story just kind of felt like it was getting stagnant. I think I'd followed it for about 15 issues. I can't remember. But I really enjoyed the initial reboot of it and thought it was really cool, really fun. And so I've always kind of had like Archie on the brain, if you will. And like, even so now, where if I'm in line at the grocery store, I pick up those small little Archie books that you see like right there by the cash register, and I'll just kind of read through them a little bit. And it always makes you laugh because they're kind of goofy and kind of fun. But so yeah, really interested to see what happens now or next. So yeah, moving on. The next bit of Nifty Nerd News is something that, in all honesty, I'm quite glad we're not getting. And that was a leak from the CW's live-action Powerpuff Girls show. Now, I think I remember talking about this when it was first announced. And at first, I was kind of excited for it. I was like, oh, this could be fun and this could be interesting. Like, what will they do? And then, based on the trailer, it was ruin it. They were going to ruin the Powerpuff Girls. You had this opportunity to allow them to grow up and explore different characteristics and character arcs and personalities, but it turned out they just wanted all those personalities to pretty much be horrible, it seems like. Like, I don't know, man. It just, and maybe it was the way the trailer was shot, like, because like the idea I think was there to have a good Powerpuff Girl show, but the execution was just, from the trailer alone, just seemed downright horrible. And it sucks because Donald Faison, who was Turk in Scrubs, and he's done other things, but Turk in Scrubs, Donald Faison was going to play Professor Xavier, the X-Men. No, Professor X, or no, Chemical X is what he put in. Utonium, Professor Utonium. There we go. I can do this, man. I can remember my childhood cartoons. The trailer was that bad, guys. Okay, it just really effed me up. But like, I wanted to root for him because, like, I want him to be in bigger things and be more prominent, because honestly, he was like my life all through Scrubs, man. Like, I loved Turk and I wanted to be like Turk, and he was funny. And then the more you like listen to his podcast with Zach Braff, like, oh man, he's pretty much that guy, but like not quite as extravagant, but like Turk and Donald are very similar. Or maybe he can't escape the character he created and now he's stuck personality. No, I don't know. But so like, I was rooting for him, man. I really wanted this to be a good show, but based on the trailer, man, it just, and I think really the most glaring thing for me is like what they do to Bubbles. And because it just seems so sad, dude. I think she's like some like alcoholic, I don't even know, like homeless person, it seems like. And then they end up like killing a person accidentally. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird. You can look it up. It's leaked online so everyone can see it. I'm sure everyone has seen it at this point, but this is one of those things where, man, I'm so glad that this didn't get made, because it was going to be on the level of Dragon Ball Z Evolution or whatever it was called, like horrible. Like, that's how bad it was. Avatar Last Airbender, the first live action take, horrible, man. Like, that's where we were going to get. And even worse with CW's live action Powerpuff Girls. So dodged a non-fingered hand punch. Well, no, they had fingers in the live action, but in the cartoon they didn't have fingers. They just had circle hands. Like, I don't know. They just had nubs. They looked like little amputees. Super powered amputees is what the Powerpuff Girls look like, and it's terrible. Anyway, that's all that I have for the. I know that's all that I have for the Nifty Nerd. Not a whole lot, man. Unless you're a baseball fan, and then the Astros just recently released their new City Connect jerseys. So the City Connect jerseys are kind of like jerseys that pay homage to the city and to fans and things like that. And the first iteration for the Astros was the Space City jersey. It was like this awesome blue jersey, had Space City and orange lettering with like the NASA logos, or like NASA lettering, like the same letter that they use for their logo for the Space City. Like, it looked cool, man. I really dug it. But I gotta say, I'm a big fan of the Space City, or not Space City, but the City Connect 2.0 jersey from Houston Astros. It's a white jersey this time, which I'm on the fence about white. Some people were saying it would have looked better in cream, and that I think it would have looked really cool in cream. But the jersey, what I really like about it, is across the chest it says Stros, which is the first time the team has officially acknowledged or like put on a shirt, like an official jersey or something, or shirt, that what the fans have always called the team, like "Go Stros" is what we always said, or "Let's go Stros," things like that. And now they actually have Stros across the chest, which is a big nod to fans and things like that. And it still pays like homage to the city of Houston, space travel, and things like that, because I don't know, it just looks awesome, man. And like, with the Stros across the chest, it has, I don't know if you guys remember the old star logo that used to go across the chest. I think it was in the early 90s or maybe late 90s. I can't remember. It was like the navy blue jerseys that they used to wear back in the day. And so it's kind of like paying homage to that, having that star go across the chest and the line go over the word Stroh's. Like, it looks badass. I like it. I'm a big fan of it, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Last night, March 19th, when they released it, they did a midnight release all the way till 5 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I could not go because I have work and things to do. So I don't live in Houston, so I would have to drive all the way to Houston, wait in line. I mean, it probably would have been worth it, but anyway. So that was like the other big news. So I was a big fan of that. And then, that's in sports. Bry-Fy, you're nerd leader in sports. Anywho, that's all that I have for the Nifty Nerd News this week, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for that. Stay tuned. I have one last thing we're going to talk about, and then you can enjoy the rest of your weekend.
All right, my brothers, listen closely. Tonight we make the Trojans pay. 10 years of war, they killed us slowly. But now we'll be the ones who slay.
All right, guys, we're here for the final part of the Bry-Fy podcast. And today we're going to talk about a little bit of what you just heard, and that is Epic the Musical. Now, I say musical. However, if you try YouTubing this, you're not going to find an actual Broadway musical associated with it. Epic, which is a musical retelling of the story of Odysseus, or the Odyssey, was done by a fan. This guy, Jorge, oh man, what is his name? Let me look it up here, because I'm going to butcher it, and I don't want to. Epic Musical. So Google, the AI overview of it says, Epic the Musical is a concept album, a sung-through musical adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey by Jorge Rivera Haranas. Released in sagas, are conceptual albums, and inspired by video games and animation. That part is, fans have done animations for the music and put them online and stuff. In fact, at one point, someone took all of the sagas, because he's been releasing these sagas, or like these small albums with songs, for like the last 5-6 years. I can't remember when he first said he was working on, I think like early 2016 at some point. I think is when he started working on Epic, and he's finally, and the reason why I even know about it is because it's been popping up on my TikTok, but I guess here recently in the last few weeks or month, he released the final saga and completed his retelling of the Odyssey. And it's actually really interesting, man. I mean, of course, it's a very modern musical piece, all written and brought up by Jorge, and then he's gotten people to come in and sing different characters for him, and it's pretty freaking sweet, man, to see a fan-made idea come together, or like be brought up, come together, executed well, in my opinion, and then released and being enjoyed the world over. Man, I can't tell you how it feels like every third video, and maybe it's just my For You page now, like that, I built it brick by brick at this point, but every like third or fourth video is playing a song from Epic, and I like, one, I think it's just the popularity of it, and two, it's good, it's catchy, man. There's some really catchy stuff, and it's funny because like I'm not a huge musical guy. I wasn't a theater kid growing up. I mean, I was in band and marching band, but I don't know, man. There's just something about it, dude. In fact, I think one of my favorite things about this Epic the Musical is going back through Jorge's TikToks, where he talks about creating it and coming up with the ideas, and he talks about building these songs and things that did work, things that didn't work, and how he came up with some ideas that really like are really awesome in these musicals. And so if you're someone who really likes things like that, like I do, like how an artist builds his art and like edits and ideas he comes up with to make new sounds, or enhanced sounds. Like, I think watching through his TikToks and how he does stuff, because he shows what he does on his musical or whatever audio program that he's using. I don't remember what he said, and it didn't quite, maybe it was GarageBand. I don't think it was GarageBand, but seeing that and seeing him build and create new tracks and make stuff is, to me, really awesome. But I'm always been a big fan of like audio engineering and stuff like that. So it's always fun to look at that kind of stuff, man. But I don't know, man. I feel like if you were a fan of Hamilton or something like that, this has a very similar vibe to it. Now, I will say it is literally just songs, and it's not like a complete musical story, like, or not a complete story. Like the musical songs hit like key points in his journey, but it won't stop to do like talking bits like most musicals will do. This is clearly a musical album and not more of a musical theatrical play, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that does or not. But there's a lot of cool songs, man. There's a lot of stuff that I enjoy of it. I don't know, man. I love every bit of it. The first song it hits you with is really cool and really interesting, and that's kind of what you heard a little bit at the beginning of this segment as I played a little bit of the first song, and it only just gets more intense and more interesting from there. One of my other like favorite songs that they play in here is where is it? There's one with Odysseus' son called Legendary that's really cool.
If so, then give me sirens and a cyclops, give me giants and a hydra. I know life in fate are scary, but I wanna be legendary. I'll fight the harpies and chimeras, the minutes or even Sarahs. I know life in fate are scary, but I wanna be legendary.
Love in Paradise with Calypso is really great.
Tell me though, who's Penelope?
She's my wife.
Any ways I've got, all you could want here, all you could need here. Just you and me, my dear, my love for life. Soon into bed we'll climb and spend our time.
I'm not yours.
And then, of course, it all comes to a head to the final song with Odysseus and Penelope, his wife, when he finally comes back home. And oh my God, man, like,
I will fall in love with you over and over again. I don't care where or when, no matter how long it's been, you're mine. Don't tell me you're not the same person. You're always my husband, and I've been
and I'm probably going to play snippets of those songs in between what I'm saying right now, so that way you can kind of hear what I'm talking about and hear some of the music. And it's cool, man. Like, I just dig it. I dig it a lot. I think it's a really cool idea, a really cool concept. And like, even now with Nolan Ryan announcing that he's going to be doing an Odysseus movie, so the Odyssey, I don't know. I really don't know if it's going to be an actual retelling of the Odyssey or if it's going to be a more normal. I don't know. It's Christopher Nolan. He doesn't do normal very well, but I would think he's going to do like the fantasy Odyssey and Odysseus' journey back home, or trying to get back home. And I don't know, it's pretty awesome. Like, if you've never read the Odyssey or never even heard it, like, there's actually a movie, I think it was done in the late 90s, which is like my first introduction into the Odyssey. And it was like CGI / claymation looking type thing, and it was actually very terrifying and very bloody and very brutal, if I remember. Which, I mean, the Odyssey really is like his journey. And this is like the Trojan horse story and stuff. Like, it starts with that, and then trying to get back home, and then he fights a Cyclops, kills a bunch of his men. There's a storm, kills a bunch of his men. Like, the Greek gods get involved, kill a bunch of his men. And without spoiling too much, eventually, like, it's just Odysseus left. Like, things just go horribly. His journey back home. And he wasn't even supposed to be that far away from home. And things just go terribly. Absolutely terribly. So yeah, check it out. The Odyssey. I think you can watch it on YouTube, actually. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Maybe watch it with ads on YouTube, or unless you have premium, you can watch it without ads. Pretty interesting stuff, man. I thought, like, at least I think so. Like, and so with this musical coming up, it's only kind of built hype up for me for Christopher Nolan's movie that's going to be coming out. So, like, maybe this was all an elaborate ploy 10 years in the making for Christopher Nolan. Who knows? But it should be pretty cool, man. Pretty interesting stuff. With that being said, I pretty much don't have anything else to talk about, man. This weekend, though, a big deal for me. I'll be going to my local downtown market days to sell some of my wares. And by some of my wares, I mean all my extra Pokemon cards that I don't know what to do with and have just been taking up space in my closet, and baseball cards and things like that. It's time to purge, man. It's time to take these things out into the world, and hopefully someone else enjoys them and finds use in them and finds love in them. Not that I don't have love in them, but I can't keep them forever, man. I got to make room for new stuff. So that way, well, I say so I can buy more Pokemon cards, but at this rate, everyone keeps taking everything that Walmart puts out. So it's like I've not been able to find anything, which kind of sucks. But who knows? Maybe one day when I go to the store, I'll find. You know what I do see there? Baseball cards. Maybe I should just go strictly into baseball cards again. Or there's some Magic the Gathering, so maybe I should start picking up Magic the Gathering again. I don't know. Like, Lorcana is still there, but I don't know if that's because Lorcana itself is dying or what. But there's still some Lorcana stuff I could pick up. So maybe that's what I'll do, man. There's tons of basketball, but I don't know shit about basketball. So, but no, I'm looking to have a good time. I've been kind of spreading the word on Facebook to let like my friends and people in the community know. And I've gotten some questions, man. I've gotten people asking, "Hey, do you have this and this?" Like, people gearing up, and I'm telling them like, "Hey, got things like this. I'll be out there Saturday. Come find my booth." I don't know where I'm going to be at yet because the event organizer hasn't gotten back to me yet. I think today they're supposed to be sending out messages and stuff, so I'll find out where I'm going to be on the square. And like I said, I'm looking forward to a good time, a fun time, and hopefully being able to sell some things. I have bulk where I'm like selling like 10, maybe I'll probably do like 15 for $1 in Pokemon cards. Maybe I'll do a little bit less, maybe 10 for $1. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. It's got like bulk baseball, Magic, One Piece, Lorcana. Then I have, excuse me, I burped a little. Then I have like more expensive singles that I've put aside. So there'll be some stuff inside a case that, you know, I ain't going to let people just touch for free. Because those are going to be like my higher dollar value cards. I got vintage Pokemon cards. I got like tins, metal tins that I'll probably throw in or put stuff in and throw in boosters or things like that. So I don't know. We'll see. I have things. I have stuff and things. So if people are interested, they will be there for sale. And I try to be as reasonable as possible with the prices. You know, I tried to gauge like what the market's selling them as versus like, you know, where I'm going to be down at a market. And so I'm not trying to like gouge people. Like some stores and stuff, they charge way above market value. A lot of the cards that I'm selling, I'm charging under market value, you know, because one, I'm trying to get rid of stuff. But two, like, and then there's some stuff where like, look, man, I'm trying to get as close to market as possible because they're valuable cards and I know that they're valuable cards. And if I don't sell them here on the square, I can sell them online. Like, so that like, that's like selling them is not going to be an issue. It's just I would like to be able to sell them in the community and keep the money in-house. No, so we'll see how that all works. And I'll probably talk a bit about it. Maybe I'll record out there while I'm selling things and meeting people and talking and promoting the podcast. Like, I think that's another thing that I'm using for this is kind of helping to promote my podcast. So we'll see how that all works out. Anyway, that's all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you for tuning in to the show, and we will see you guys next week. Bry-Fy out.